Hello and welcome to another episode of Authentic Leader Q&A. I am your host, Amber Ludwig. I'm an online business development coach and expert that supports authors, speakers, and coaches to build their business online. Today's question comes from Mara.
Hi Amber, this is Mara from Affinity Creative. My question is regarding online products. When making your product available online, how do you handle passwords and stop people from distributing or copying your products?
That is a great question, Mara, and one that I've had a lot of my clients in the past ask me. And there's no great answer for this, unfortunately, but I'm going to tell you everything that I know and let you decide what's the best course of action for you. Now, when it comes to actually password protecting your content online, there are lots of different ways that you could do it. For example, if you have a WordPress website, which is what I'm always talking about, inside of WordPress, it's an automatically built-in feature where you can password protect your content. And it's very simple. You simply assign that password, and when somebody wants into that content, let's say you have a client that bought a product, you would send them to that page and give them that password, and now they can access that content. Or you could go a step further and get a plugin for WordPress such as Wishlist. And Wishlist is a product that I have used for many years to help build membership websites. And I've used it many times myself just to take people through a course or a product that I've created. So for example, one of my main products right now is a membership site that you can find at authenticleaderacademy.com. And as soon as people buy into that membership, they are redirected to a registration page where they can actually create their own username and password and then forevermore have access into that membership site. For me, because it's a one-time entry fee into that membership. However, if you have the kind of membership site or a product that had a reoccurring fee, you could make it, you could set it up so that as soon as somebody stopped making their payment, they would stop having access to the membership area. Or at any time, you can just delete a member or a user. So, I mean, there's a lot of different options that you have there, but the fact remains that if you use a product like Wishlist, which works exclusively with WordPress, then you would be able to have your users set up their own username and password and get access that way. So, I mean, there's a lot of different options there depending on what your product is and what you're using it for. However, that doesn't stop somebody from sharing that password and spreading it all around town, right? And that's the biggest concern, is that if you put all of this blood, sweat, and tears into a product that you've created, you want people to pay for it, right? You don't want people to go out and share it and give access to have other people get access to it for free, right? That just wouldn't feel good for you. There's really not a whole lot you can do about it. I mean, just being perfectly honest. I always think that it comes down to the type of audience you have. Luckily, the audience that I attract, they're very much full of integrity and authenticity, and if I just ask them not to share this with others, I would assume that they are going to respect my wishes and not do that. Now, might somebody do that? Sure, they might, but that really honestly falls on them. The next thing I think is, what's the worst case scenario if that did happen? If one of my members shared their username and password with somebody else, what would be the result of that? Well, let's say their friend would get access into the membership site, and now they're going to get a ton of value to help move their message and their business forward. Is that really that bad? I mean, karmically speaking, and I believe in karma, that person is going to get impacted, and that's great for me. That's truly why I'm in business, is to give value to others, support others, help them achieve their goals and dreams. So not only am I helping that person, but karmically speaking, I believe that might come back to me, and I might get more clients or more members or whatever as a result. Or maybe that person has a really good conscience and says, this is a really great value. I want my own membership into the academy. or whatever. And so it actually might help the sales process and get me more members from that angle too. So I guess the way that I've always approached it in my business is I totally believe in abundance. And I know that as long as I show up and I live in integrity and I do the right thing, then I'm going to get, basically kind of what I want. I believe in abundance. I believe that clients will continue to flow, sales will continue to flow, and that's just been the case ever since I've been in business, which has been almost 8 years now. We've consistently grown about 40% on average every single year. And I've had all kinds of content out there, and much of it has been password protected. And I have never personally run into an issue where anything shady happened or sketchy happened or anything like that. Now, if you do have something that's very important to you and you say, Amber, that's nice and all, but I still want it protected, I totally understand. And here's what I would say to you. It's going to completely depend on what product you have, what setup you use, whether it's WordPress or a plugin or something else. So I can't really give you specifics on how to better protect that content, but I can tell you that if you go out and find the right developer, the right programmer, there are safeguards that you can use to help limit the amount of sharing. So for example, you'll notice, let's see, an example would be Facebook or Google even. I don't even know if you've ever noticed that, but if you try to log in to one of these websites like Facebook or Google, and you do it from a different location than what Facebook and Google has picked up on as the location you normally use, that person is going to get a flag that says, hey, is this really you, or are you using your computer at a different location now, or are you somebody that shouldn't have access to this account? So what happens there is that each computer or website is going to store what's called an IP address. We all have different IP addresses based on our internet location and how we're getting internet to our home or office or wherever it is. So we all have this unique address that's assigned to us. And what happens is you can set up your website such that each username, each member of your product is recorded by IP address. So if anybody else were trying to log into that person's account using a different IP address from a different location, that would send an alert to the system, and that programmer that you've hired could either block that other IP address, sorry, you don't have access, please contact Mara, this is by error, or you could allow that IP address. I mean, there's a lot of different very technical things that happen on the back end, but even still, I mean, somebody could still use the account even if they had a different IP address, most likely, or it could create more complications with your users not being able to access your content if they were on vacation or out of town at a meeting and wanted to log in. So I mean, it just gets to be this whole gobbledygook, ugly situation, in my opinion, which is why I've just kind of held that belief, like I mentioned earlier, that karma, abundance, I'm adding value to people's lives, I'm making an impact, I'm showing up to do the job I want to do. So if it's shared when I've specifically asked that it not be shared, then I'm okay with that in the bigger picture. Now, if it started happening all the time, maybe I would have a different delivery model for my content. For example, maybe all of my products would be live and I wouldn't share the replays. So there is no information to access in that membership site, so there's no password at all or anything like that. It's not personally a decision that I would make in my business, but it is something worth thinking about. So hopefully I at least gave you some ideas. Really, it's going to come down to hiring a developer or a programmer to help you through your unique situation depending on what kind of products you're offering. If you have any additional comments or questions, please use them, post those in the comments section below, because I really want to make sure that I'm giving you the support and value that you need to propel your business forward. And definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel, because every time I post one of these Q&A episodes, you'll get a little notification, a little ding, once I have that new video available, so that you can continue your journey of learning how to improve your business results. In the meantime, I want to thank you so much for your time and support in watching these podcast episodes, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks a lot.